Is it started?
Yep.
All right. Players ready. All right, and away we go. On to game 4.
So we're gonna have a TVP. This will be fun. See what Star Fox. I haven't seen him much. But these players are relatively close. I think about 300 of them are apart. So definitely a good chance if Star Fox is gonna take out one of the Masters. Sniper, his record for the night will be 2-1. Thank you, Sniper, and it is on to Star Fox.
All right, let's do it.
In the top corner of Tessellation, we have the light pink Protoss. It is Star Fox.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner is the blue Terran representing AIlin. It is Ballad.
What are your thoughts on the map, Snap?
The map looks awfully big. Well, actually, no. Hold on. The mini map. Actually, it's a small map, but it looks like it should be bigger. With the distance between the natural and any third base that you take, like that seems like that's an insane distance.
Yeah, well, it almost has a Dreamcatcher type feel because it's got a lot of space in the middle of the map that's low ground with the rocks. So it's a
Yeah.
little bit more of a open map, unlike the last map, which I forget the name of already. I forget. So it's got a lot of wide open ground to fight with, but it doesn't have a lot of easily defendable bases like the last map did.
That's true. That is true. And there's 3 attack paths into the obvious third base. One from the side, the front, and then the side of the natural. That just seems. This seems like this is going to be a very hard map to play on. I think this will fit Star Fox's style, to be honest, because I haven't played a whole lot against Star Fox, but every time I do, it's she or he or she absolutely executes a mortal charge lot sentry
Right.
sentry kind of style, and kills me quite frequently. So on a base like this, where it looks like it would be kind of harder to defend more than 2 bases, I think this is going to be a good map for them.
Looking forward to see that from Star Fox. Reaper coming in for Ballad, going to get a full scout on everything. Going to see that it's going to be Robo first. Is that one adept here, which is not going to catch the Reaper, looks like. Reaper's going to escape. We'll see if the one adept moves across the map to, looks like it will do that to scout.
Yeah.
And the Reaper's still going to hang around, going to be able to get a scout later. There is a Stalker being produced, though. Should shut the Reaper down. And a lot of times with that early Stalker, we can see a gateway explosion coming after that. Once the Reaper is killed.
Once it's determined that it's safe to safe to do so. Oh, get him. Oh, get him.
Nice.
Ah, I got him. Nice job.
The very last Stalker hit got that Reaper, so no more scouting for Star Fox. Another Stalker being produced, and we'll see. Here we go. We got another gate being added. We'll see the total number of gates that get added, but it looks like Balford, on the other hand, is going for a Widowmine drop.
This is going to be. It seems as if Star Fox is going to be prepared for it, having opened. First unit out of the Robo is going to be a Observer. So you don't need the Observer to kill the mines after they detonate, but now she's going to be able to kill them when they detonate. So that's excellent. It is going to move across the map. Not going to catch the drop, but
I'm wondering if this is actually going to be Blink from Star Fox. We have 2 more gates being added, a total of, I think, 6 is what we're up to now. Let's see. We're going to be up to 5, I think. Warp gates. I know Charge Lot's being upgraded, but there were a couple Stalkers produced, I guess, just to defend the drop smartly. But we are going to go into that Charge Lot drop you were talking. Charge Lot is how you were talking about. Widow Mines are getting dropped in here. Probes pulled right on time. Hopefully Star Fox shouldn't get too much damage. Shouldn't take too much damage. And that first mine, sorry, both mines go down for only 2 probes, so a good defense from Star Fox.
Yep, that was the ideal kind of way to handle that. Did you see if the medevac got picked off too?
I didn't. I'm surprised because I thought it went out, but yeah. It shows in the units lost that a medevac was killed.
Nice. So I wonder if Ballot was able to get enough information from the scouting of the mine drop to know that this kind of pressure is coming at him.
Yeah, we have the sentries. Charge Alt's finishing up now. Wonder if there's going to be a warp prism cross map or some pylon. Currently, there's no pylons. I'd like to. Oh, sorry. There's a warp prism en route right now. This could also be good potential to micro the Immortal. And Star Fox, I really like this. Going up the far side to attack on even ground, not going to attack up a ramp. This is a really smart move from Star Fox.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely going to be tremendous in this fight to come. And you can see that Ballot's preparing to defend the low ground ramp, but coming in from the side, the tank might be a little exposed.
Here we go. Guardian Shield is up. It's out of the range of those front Zealots, but still, these Zealots getting on top of the 2 tanks and gunning them down pretty quickly. That was a brutal move, man. It looked like this was going to be a good fight for Star Fox.
Turned ugly quick, but the follow-up's going to happen. All that needs to happen is targeting the tank with the Immortal, and then I think should be able to clean it up. Yeah, Immortal demolished that tank. There's another tank, needs to retarget fire, and there it goes. Alright, now pull back.
Yeah,
14.
The tank is gone, and more cells are being warped into the main. This is a great fight for Star Fox so far. A ton of SCVs going down. 17 total have gone down. Looks like Marines are going to chase down that warp prism, but the main of Ballots is getting absolutely destroyed here. And Star Fox in a great position in this game.
Yeah, 32 workers dead total. Lost every single SCV at the main base for basically free. And Star Fox is taking a 3rd base, but I don't really think that they need to. If they just produce some mortals and follow up with another warping round, like there's no way that Terran can defend this. Like they can't even clean up the 3 charge lots still in the main base.
A couple of Marauders. This is some bad move command happening in this game. Finally, those cells are going to go down. But like you said, Star Fox can just a couple warp in rounds and it's going to be over for Ballot. 3rd base almost finishing as well. Blink coming in to complement that charge army. So Star Fox just with a good army composition. Not the greatest control at first, but stuck in there. The drop into the main, or the warp into the main, very strong as well.
Yep. There is going to be a robotics base finishing up, so that's going to give them access to the Mortal, or to the Colossus and Disruptors. But yeah, I honestly think that just 2 Colossus and move out, because you have to know that you're ahead. You cleaned up so much. They got to spend so much in rebuilding.
Yeah, the only way I could see Star Fox or Ballad coming back to this would be a strong drop. There are 2 medevacs out on the map, and looks like Star Fox's army is sort of in position to defend this one at the 3rd. No, it looks like the one is medevac's going to turn around and going to drop. I think if this was a Zerg, this would be advisable, but because it's a Protoss, I don't think that's actually wise. I think going into the main would be the better option because I believe this army is going to get destroyed. But the reaction from Star Fox not the best, so still some probes are going to die here.
Yeah.
If Blink was done, I think one of those medevacs would have been gone for sure. But it's not quite finished right now.
Yeah. So one Colossi is finished up. Another one coming out. Great. There it is. Thermal Lance is 20 seconds out. Blink is finished. +1 is being chronoed. +1 armor is being chronoed. I think Star Fox is just checking off all their boxes, and then should have an okay closer to the game.
Drop into the third, getting a few more probes, but there's another drop that's going to go into the natural here. I don't... Looks like he might try to... Okay, is he going to try to just walk into the natural? It's going to be worse.
He's pulled the whole army completely out towards the far side of the third base. So this looks like it's going to be okay. And
yeah, but this does give Star Fox time to react and get over here. The 2 Widow Mines have deployed, and for all the probes to get pulled off the mineral line. Nice blink up as well. So I think Star Fox dodged a bullet there. If Ballad had dropped into the mineral line, he would have gotten a lot more probes for his effort. But as it is, total of 11 probes gone down. Of course, losing probes does hurt, but I think that's a reasonable amount to lose to the amount of draw pressure that he's fended off.
Star Fox going for a fourth base, and I don't know, I think that's okay, but I'd really like, I guess the time to jump on the damage that was done way early on is over, right? Now it's just try not to die with your elite.
It does seem like, I think there was an opportunity where Star Fox should have moved across the map again, but Ballad's macro looks to be just a little bit better here. Star Fox hasn't been doing too bad, but Ballad's army position right here I don't think is quite attackable right now. I think he should try to expand, he should try to get bigger and just defend it well. Currently, he has not done a lot. And only one Colossus out. Colossus being produced one at a time.
Yeah.
But the supplies are basically even here, so it means that Star Fox is doing okay, but I believe that Ballad's going to be a little bit more mobile with his army and going to be able to utilize it a little bit better than Star Fox is.
Yeah. Ballad's going to try and apply pressure onto this fourth base, and it's honestly really exposed as far as bases go. So
Star Fox is over here at the right time, though the Warp isn't getting caught off guard. The Colossus move commanding. This is really bad for Star Fox.
Yeah, it wasn't move commanded. It got interference matrixed, and basically makes it so it can't attack. The Warp Prism got interferenced, and the Colossus got interference, which makes this a really, really one-sided fight for Ballad. Another Colossus out. Charge us are going to try and buffer for it, but nothing to take care of those Vikings. Vikings are going to clean up the Colossus. I think Ballad's just going to continue to march from here.
Let's see, with one more warp, and he might be able to push this back with another Colossus popping and an Immortal as well. He's starting to lose probes now, though. He has actually survived with a few probes at the fourth. The Zealots coming in here are going to clean this up. There is a train of reinforcements headed for the natural, though, and Ballad's taking his fourth as well.
Yeah. The position at the natural, the siege position at the natural is going to be really strong. So Star Fox has to be careful here and not to get baited underneath those liberators.
Morphing 2 Archons here. And
Storm has not been started, despite the Twilight Council being here for a long time. So I think that's definitely a mistake out of Star Fox that they might be feeling.
Widow Mine's going to the fourth of Star Fox, but a good pull. Widow Mine shots on Star Fox's army, just brutal though. It is getting chewed up by those liberators in the bio. I think this is the end of Star Fox. Ballad's pushing in here. Got more reinforcements at home as well, and there is just not enough. Even with another warpin or two, I don't think it's going to be a win for Star Fox, unfortunately.
GG's called.
So Ballad evening it up, which I think that game for Star Fox, I think you're right that I would have liked to see him push again after he did the initial damage. I think I would have warped in a couple more times, got another immortal, and just kept going. Because when you allow Terran enough time to rebound, if Terran is strong enough, they absolutely will. And like we saw in that game, then they can start harassing of their own. I would have liked to see more effort to keep the pressure on Terran, not just do some damage, then be content, and then just only try to macro from there.
Yeah. The warping ran in the main base of Terran, like those charge outs killed actually every single SCV there. And then 14 SCVs from the natural were killed on the pull out to defend. So it was it was kind of it was kind of tough, right? Because like you feel good with no matter what you do. You're like, okay, I can macro up from here. Like I clearly have a worker lead, but you make yourself more vulnerable towards the later part of the game. And I think I think from that position, Star Fox definitely could have just followed up, pushed, and won the game. But that's a it's a tough call to make in the situation.
Yeah, but definitely well executed build from Star Fox. So thank you for showing up and competing.
Can
And
you
it looks
get a
like Cuckoo is ready.
Can you get a map? I
Let's
whispered
see.
him, but he's not accepting whispered.
Um, let's see. Let's see.
So
I think I
look at hmm,
I showed. I think Cuckoo doesn't know the maps. I shared him, or did I? Let me see.
I believe the maps remaining is so. What race is Kuko? Do you know?
Um, I believe he is. Let's see, Protoss. No, let me double check. He says a Metron is fine. I just asked him. I wasn't sure if he heard about that map. But Cuckoo is Terran.
Okay.
So wait, a Metron? Is that how you spell it, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Why did he elect not to join? Let's see.
Probably just bugged out.
Okay.
Whoops, I did not mean to send a friend request. But that's okay. He accepted anyways. Thank you. All right.
Okay, so Cuckoo is going to be playing Ballad, so it's going to be at TBT, and we don't know who their final player is. Oh, is Ballad having trouble joining?
Yeah.
Okay.
So far, just a minute should make it work.
Hmm. Do you know if we need to remake or... Okay, he's going to relaunch. Okay. Last surprise is our final player, and he is online.
In the chat channel as well. What a guy.
And he is ready, so we will have a complete roster thanks to Cuckoo sticking it out and staying up extra late. Cheers to him. Sorry guys for the low energy cast. It's been a long weekend, but hope everyone's had a good is having a good Labor Day weekend if you do have that long weekend. School's starting up for you guys. Hope that's going well. And I feel so bad for Cuckoo because it's just adding to the delay.
I forget how unbearably hot it gets in my apartment when I'm at campus.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty warm in my room. It's probably like 80 degrees and pretty humid right now in my room.
I could not estimate for you what it is, but like I know that I am just drenched. I'm dripping sweat, literally every pore on my fucking face.
Yeah, I was just in Colorado and it was super dry, and it's crazy how much of a difference that makes. It feels so much nicer. I envy people who live in those climates.
Yeah.
Okay,
We did it.
3 cheers for Ballad. Made the lobby. Let's go.
Ballad is ready. Is Kuko ready?
Ready. Let's go. Cuckoo is an absolute champ, absolute legend for staying up this late and playing. He said, yeah, okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool.
added him on battle tag by accident. So when he said ready, like I didn't see Kuko, I saw his battle tag name, and I'm like, what?
Brothers or whatever, yeah. Confused me first too.
All right, TVT. What's it gonna be?
Should be pretty fun. All right, in the top corner of a Metron, in a tied series, we have the blue Terran. It is Ballad for AIlin.
And spying the bottom left-hand corner as the red Terran representing Alpha X, it is Kuko. Both players went gas before racks, so leans to me more like they're going to be using tech units earlier on. I know that because I watch casters and I hear them say stuff.
Well, I mean, Terran, the current state of Terran builds, I'd say in TVT and TVZ is pretty wide open. Like, there's just a lot of stuff that can be done. We've seen, I guess this is more so TVZ, but I think it does apply in TVT a decent amount. But there's just the different variations you can go. You can go Banshee, you can go Viking, you can go Battle Cruiser, you can do like kind of 2-1-1 stuff. You can go for some early bio. Mech's been super popular, and some certain deviations from that. But there's just, even within just saying mech, there's so many slight variations with the opening build that we can do. And it looks like we have a...
It was a very, very fast factory from Ballad.
Right.
In fact,
and a earlier CC on the low ground for Kuku.
Yeah, Kuku hasn't even taken a second gas yet, so I hope that he's going to be able to get across the map with his Reaper and then see what he needs to see with the opening of Ballad and make the defense possible, because fast expanding is not typically a thing in TVT, is what I'm told. But yeah, Ballad should feel very good seeing this opener out of Kuku.
Yeah, Kuku actually left the Reaper at home so it can defend to not lose the SCV. Kuku had an SCV out on the map. I wasn't sure if it looked like maybe he was going to try to proxy something, but just brought it back and tried to see if he could catch the Reaper. But right now, Kuku is on no scouting. So it looks like they're both going for 1-1-1 here. It's just going to be a lot faster Hellions. Is it going to matter though, because we've got Hellions coming out right now for Kuku anyhow?
Yeah, and they're going to be reactors. So this was very interesting. I'm not sure how this is supposed to play out. Both their starports are timed out evenly, and Tech Lab is ready for the starport on Kuko's side of the base. No Tech Lab. Okay, Tech Lab's starting on the starport for Ballad, but it seems like Kuku's gonna be okay.
Yeah, and Kuku gonna get that production out about the same time, to be honest. But it's gonna be a Raven for Kuku, and I assume it's gonna be Raven for Ballad. I guess it could be Banshee as well. We'll fight in the middle of the map, and it looks like that went well for Kuku. Got 2 Reapers and a Hellion out there. So yeah, Kuku got away with a bit of a faster expand, and it's going to have a slight economic lead, not a ton. Once Ballad equalizes in the work account, it's going to be about the same. But he's pushing across map, actually, and there's not a lot there at the natural. There's only 1 Hellion. We've got a Cyclone, a Raven, and 2 Marines on the way, but currently there's only 1 Hellion and 2 Marines here, so there's actually potential for some SCVs kills here.
quite a few actually. Yeah. Cuckoo lost to Hellion really early in the engagement, but it came in already low. He's got 4 workers. He's got a couple units worth of damage. He's going to lose at least another Hellion, but and he's secured 3 extra SCV kills than what was expected. Another one, and he's going to get a full scout if he continues. I guess not, but well, he did see the third base, and that is critical. He has a third base of his own producing now, but yeah.
Yeah, and saw that scan for Ballad coming down, seeing all the tech. We've got 2 Vikings coming out. I think that Cuckoo might try to push out here earlier. He's got 2 Ravens and a siege tank and a little bit of mech, whereas it looks like Cyclone. Okay, no, Ballad's got a siege tank as well. So it looks like it's equalized, but in that fight, a lot of damage was done to Ballad.
Yeah. It's interesting the choice of interesting to me the choice of add-ons for the different players. They're both, it looks like they're both going to go bio, but Cuckoo got his he got his barracks on a tech lap earlier, so his sim's going to be a little faster, but it looks like Bala was able to pump out more Marines. So I think Kuko's force right here, 5 Marines, 2 tanks, 2 Vikings, and 2 Ravens, that is really dependent on him getting, that's going to be really, really, really dependent on him getting the interference matrix on the siege tanks of the opponent and having a good siege position to kill all the Marines of Ballad. I do not think that this fight should go well for Cuckoo unless he executes it perfectly.
Yeah, it looks like Cuckoo's going to back off and maybe just try to prevent the landing of the third. And that may be successful. The third of Cuckoo floating down as well. The army of Ballad's coming out here. Will this go? 1 Raven's gunned down before it can get an interference matrix off. Even the Vikings are landing for Cuckoo. How is this going to go? It looks like a lot of auto turrets were thrown down, so it's going to clean up a lot of this. And that flight, because the Vikings landed at just the right time and because of auto turrets,
Wow.
Cuckoo won that fight.
Wow. By a hair, to be honest. He's going to try and land and assassinate the siege tank.
He should unsiege that right now.
Yeah, he should. He really should. Unsiege and walk home.
Oh, he's sieging up both right next to. I think he could suicide that pretty. Anyways, full scan's coming down for Cuckoo. He sees everything here. His third's established, while the third of Ballad is not. So even though those armies were basically equal, the value that Cuckoo is getting out of this, that engagement is a ton. He's getting so much more mining time up and establishing his third base, while Ballad is a ways out.
I do like that Cuckoo was able to get his 1-1 started significantly earlier compared to Ballad. But I don't see an armory yet, so he's going to be halted on 1-1. Whereas, oh, there it is.
Yeah,
there is
just finishing up in the net.
Yeah, so he's going to be able to roll right on ahead with those. Oh, but here comes the Doom drop.
He unsieged just in the nick of time, but did it do enough? Yeah, okay. That was actually a disaster for Ballad. Great reaction, unsiege for Cuckoo.
Yeah,
and actually, the 3 Vikings lifted and he picked up a medevac. Nicely done.
Yeah, I think he should go home with those Vikings. 2 of them are really low. The other one, they're all really low. He just needs to repair. If you can repair those and have 3 extra Vikings for the next fight, that's going to be so much more meaningful.
Cuckoo's starting to get an army supply lead. He's about double in the army supply. Both players' thirds are established, but Cuckoo could try to exploit that. But in TVT, army supplies can be a little bit deceiving sometimes. It really does not take much, especially with a large bio army when you're fighting bio tank versus bio tank, to that 20 supply to get drained very quickly. It does look like the natural of Ballad is a little bit exposed, though.
Yeah, he does have a siege tank there, but it's not going to have vision to start sieging up where he needs to.
Vikings coming in here getting a good trade as well. Those medevacs are going to go down really fast. There's a lot of bio here. The only tank goes down. I think Cuckoo can win this fight. Yeah, that was a tremendously good fight for him, and now he can start to get some workers killed. Ballad's rallying some units, trying to get a defense up, but Cuckoo in a nice position right now.
Yeah.
Oh, one tank at the third. He didn't expect that. Gonna gun that down quickly and get a lot of workers.
Yeah, the siege tank of his own is slightly exposed. I honestly think, yeah, Ballad jumps on it, but then miscontrols and runs his marine away. So the siege tank of Kukos is cleaned up, but there is a hefty worker cost for Ballad to pay.
And the third CC is currently under fire, and it explodes right before the SCVs can get to it. So that's a huge pickup. Now Cuckoo is 2 bases ahead of him with his 4th base just established and his 5th base going down as well. Cuckoo's in a great position.
Yeah, he really is. He's got 2-2 on the way. He's got hefty amount of barracks. He's producing all the marines he could ever want, and he's just going to parade push again. He knows he's dealt crippling damage to the opponent. He's going to keep on that pressure and drive them out of this game.
Thank you for the follow. I believe that was a follow. I'll double check in a minute. Thank you for whoever that was. I missed the notification, but I did hear it. Thank you to that. Yeah, so Cuckoo is charging up here. But here's the thing is there's tanks sieged up on the high ground. Yeah, Cuckoo does not want to take that fight at all.
Yeah. Cuckoo doesn't have any medevacs to support his marines, so that's going to be really tough to deal with. But Ballad GG's. Cuckoo takes the win.
Yeah, it was about to snowball really hard for Cuckoo in terms of the economic game. Even if Cuckoo had lost that entire army, the resupply would have been so strong.
Yeah.
All right, so Cuckoo makes it 3-2, and we're going to go into our final game. Or no, possibly final game, our final player for AIlin.
Yeah. The 2 maps remaining are Extraction and Monument. So Monument looks like it's going to be a more macro focused map. Seems like there's lots of territorial positions to be gained, lots of medium ground defending the immediate area of your base. Extraction looks like a King Sejong Station kind of style map, and that's really neat.
And that is such a good map. We need that back.
Mm-hmm. That was a really fun map to play. I hated it at first, but yeah, it's good.
Okay, so their last player. Thank you for the follow, Ballad. Thank you, man. Well played. Thanks for showing up and not making this a forfeit. And it looks like the Walrus gave us a host. Thank you to the Walrus. I believe that was the other notification, and then that was a follow from Ballad. Who is it? Missing No? Missing No is offline. Oh, God, it's World is Doom. Okay, World is Doom is back. Gonna play the A spot for AIlin. World is Doom is a Master Zerg, and it's he is 5.1k. So gonna be a challenge for Cuckoo. Extraction and Monument. Cool. And it looks like John Goodman, if you were watching, I see that you were chatting about this in the TheNydus chat. But say hi, man, if you're in chat. Haven't seen you in a while. And I gotta accept the party. There we go. Excited to be heading into the final game here. It's been a fun night.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, did World say he needed a minute?
Yeah. Oh, he's ready. Go,
All
go,
right,
go, go.
cool. And this was. Wait, was this a team? Yeah, that's right. Was this the one you said looked like King Sejong?
Yes, it is.
Definitely does with the way the natural is.
Mm-hmm. And it's even got the rocks on the same sides that King St. John had, where you got to break them to expose that path.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this map this season.
All right. In the top corner of Extraction, we have the red Terran. It is Cuckoo for Alpha X.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner as the blue Zerg, representing AIlin, it is World is Doomed.
We are one game away from victory. If Cuckoo does not win, then we will move on to last surprise. A Terran player. And like I said, World is Doom is a 5.1k player, so he's going to be very strong for this master set.
Mm-hmm. He opted to open for gas pool hatch, but it was the latest gas and then pool that you could go for it to be macro. So it's not necessarily cheese. It's an aggressive build opener to start for sure. Looks like he's going to try and want to get across the map and cancel the low ground CC before the Reaper can turn around and come home. But Cuckoo sees this, sees the natural, sees the gas and pool. So he's gonna know that the he goes ahead and starts the CC on the low ground anyways. That's a brave maneuver.
He will have the Reaper out in time. It looks like two of the Lings are going to peel off to get the SCV. I think he maybe thinks that because this was scouted, it's not going to be able to do much anyway. And that because he's doing that, there's only going to be 4 Lings poking into the natural for now. So this actually might be a slight gamble that worked out for Cuckoo.
Yep. Cuckoo's Reaper is engaging the Zerglings with
oh
no
my goodness. That's huge.
So now the one Marine is going to have to take care of the 3 Zerglings. And I'm not quite sure it can do that. Yeah, he pulls a handful of SCVs and they together. The power of teamwork will clean up the Zergling infiltrators.
There are 2 more Lings on the way as well. So it looks like the reactor barracks is going to get up in enough time, hopefully. But, I mean, with about 4 more links pushing it. It's going to put some pressure on the CC, even if it is finished.
Yeah.
Third CC is already started as well.
Yeah, Cuckoo scanned the third base location. Zerg and saw that it was moving out, and I think he might have also seen another handful of speedlings moving across the map. So this pressure isn't quite over yet, but he should lift the CC. I don't think it's worth letting the orbital finish, because now it's going to burn.
Oh my goodness, it's actually going to be very close. Well, okay, not super close, but still, that's a lot of minerals he's going to have to invest into repairing it.
Mm-hmm. I was very interested to see that the third CC started before the starport, so that he is looking to play as incredibly economical, given the starting, given how the start of this game went.
Got Lair on the way for World. It's possible we could see Mutas here. I feel like those would be pretty good on this map, and with the pressure he's done already, might be an option.
Yeah. Cuckoo's gonna move out with Hellions, clean up all the speedlings, retake his natural base, and resume worker production. He is behind by 10 workers, which is no small amount, but the third CC being done already and being in orbital is going to help him catch up very, very quickly. He just needs to be able to survive until he's equalized that worker count.
Overlord speed is being researched right now, and there is an Overlord in position above the main of Cuckoo, so I think at a certain point, once speed finishes, World is going to sacrifice an Overlord to scout, and he's going to see that third.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he lifts it. Yeah, even if he lifts it now, it's still going to be en route when the Overlord finishes. Or, excuse me, morphs into an Overseer.
Yep. Overseer speed is done. He's going to get the full scout any minute. He is trying to do a nice run by it, but the wall is up, so he's not going to get any extra information with those Zerglings. And it is going to be mech.
Interesting. Okay, so the third base does have... I'm going to say it's going to be relatively easy for World to defend. It's got a nice choke. The one thing... This is King Sejong, so we could come in from both angles here, with the destructible rocks at the other end of the natural. But I really think that expanding to a third for World is going to be pretty tricky, because if he takes that... If he continues sort of in the path he's going and takes the maybe 10 o'clock position, then Cuckoo can take a really strong siege position up at that plateau. That's going to be really difficult to deal with. The other option would be breaking down the rocks and expanding to the other side, and that would stretch him out as well. But he might go with that.
I think breaking the rocks was the correct solution in King Sejong, and I think for this map being as similar as it is, it might be the same situation again. As you can position your army at the natural and be close enough to the third and the fourth base to defend it, and close enough to the main to defend drops. So the fourth base that he's taking is not a bad one, but yeah, not a bad one at all.
Some Hellions getting some creep tumors and maybe some queens in the middle of the map poking around. Now, the third CC was taken incredibly early, but he didn't move it out. He's just finally moving it out now. And did the Overseer even come in? Yes, it did.
Yeah.
So we have battle cruisers on the way. I missed that. We have the fusion core. And the Overseer is going to scoot in here and actually won't even see that, so that could be big. Yeah, didn't see the fusion core. So the BC is moving across the map, and there's currently no answer except the queens. Okay, never mind. There are Hydras here. So it's Hydraling Bane for World.
I'm interested that there's no Yamato being researched.
Yeah, he's going to be able to get a decent amount of damage done here. A little bit, just some drones.
Yeah, but he is going to see all the Hydras. He is going to walk out without losing that CC. It's a queen and a drone force trouble. It gets to repair and live another day. There is a Zergling run by at the third base of Cuckoo, and that's going to clean up a handful of workers, and a siege tank if he's not careful.
He is going to lose that siege tank. Ooh, I think he'll barely survive with that siege tank. So the third is just being established now, and I feel like that's it's a little late. He could have gotten that up a little bit earlier, perhaps, because now the Zerg's on 4 base economy, and Zerg's going to start to get really scary.
Yeah.
Army supply is slightly in favor of Cuckoo right now, but that could start to shift once Zerg gets a couple macro cycles in.
Yeah. Zerg has hit their ideal worker saturation. He's up to 82 workers. Cuckoo's only up to 59, which is going to be a really hard deficit to overcome. He did not repair the injured battlecruiser, so he flies in with it first, so it's going to take more damage on it than he needs to. But he's got the teleport, so...
Yamato Cannon not done yet either. And there are spores going to finish just as BCs go in. If he's not careful, he could lose one of
those. Yeah.
Warp out.
Yeah. 6 workers. But now he absolutely needs to repair them.
Cuckoo needs to start getting a 4th as well.
Yeah. I'd like to see... Well, he has a 4th command center and a 5th command center already finished, but he's flying the 4th out. He's going to make that into a planetary. He's got another one in front of his 3rd base that's finishing up. So he's only up to 62 workers. He lost a couple to the Zergling run by, but when you have 5 command centers now, you need to be, and you know that you're not at the peak worker saturation. Like, you should be getting there 5 at a time.
Yeah, World is down to 70 workers. A few killed in that run by at the about 10 o'clock position base. Getting some stack defense up there as well, as he's starting to get pretty stretched out. BC is going to try to fly in here, see if they can get a little bit more damage, and the Hydras are pretty out of position, so these BCs are going to be nice and versatile the larger the area that it is World has to defend.
Yeah. And he did repair them, and he did fly them over here, so they have teleport. So he is going to be able to get him out safely, as long as he just doesn't stop paying attention.
Okay, nice damage being done here with these battlecruisers, giving Cuckoo time. His 4th is up now. He is transitioning that into a planetary. Going to get that position nice and defended. And did he warp both BC's way? Yep, he did. BC count is continuing to climb, as well as his mech army. But right now, World's army is stronger than Cuckoo's. Cuckoo needs to start macroing. He's got a lot of banked minerals right now.
Yeah. World is doomed. Starting Neural Parasite. Has Vipers on the way. He's checking off all of them late game boxes, so he's setting up. He should be okay for when this Hydra army dies. I expect this Hydra army to die. It's going to trade very well, but he caught the siege tanks out of position.
Yeah, it did not have any initial siege tank damage. That's huge. He's actually gonna be a little bit hard for Cuckoo to deal with here. I'm gonna try to chase some of these Hydras, but still trading them out very effectively.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Zerg wants to be doing, because he's near max. He doesn't have a bank, but he's looking to get a better army for dealing with this mech. And that's going to be Infestors and Vipers and Broodlords at some point.
Yeah, there's actually just nothing here. Continuing to build battlecruisers, but against Hydras, those aren't so good. So it looks like World's going to roll in here. And
ooh,
I don't know if there's anything Cuckoo can do.
Yeah, Cuckoo is not ready for those with that amount of bands. It seems that his army is not what it needs to be to handle the force of Zerg. The Hydras and the Banes.
Luckily, the tank's on the high ground, going to, looks like, finally push this army back. But Zerg's already done enough damage and forcing a lift on that CC, doing a good amount of damage. The Vipers are here as well. Zerg can continue to expand, and Terran is in a real bad situation.
Yeah, Terran's flowing 2,000 minerals. He'd like to be spending that, but he's having just a hard time overall with everything. He keeps dropping command centers, which is awesome. It's definitely a good way to spend your gas or your mineral bank, but he's got units stuck in the main with the Sim City of the factories next to the starports.
Oh yeah, tank and a cyclone. Unfortunate. The Bane army rolling in and absolutely destroying that planetary. A lot of SCVs on the run here as well. And the army of Cuckoo just getting evaporated. It was a lot of BCs just went down there. Neural parasited some of them as well. I don't know how you feel about the BCs, but I really don't feel like they've been a good investment the later the game goes on here for Cuckoo.
Yeah, they definitely they didn't pull the weight that Cuckoo was hoping that they would. BCs to me seem like they're the one of the most snowbally kind of units, right? Where you have to get a huge lead at the beginning for it to be worth it. Otherwise, you just don't have the army to deal with anything.
Yeah. You're down in supply like that, continuing to produce BCs, I think was not the right choice. And World of Doom will take that game, so it is going to go to the ace match for both players. It's been a good fight for AIlin.
Which means the very last map is Monument.
Alright, thank you, Cuckoo, for playing. See you in the chat, man. Hope you have a good night. I know it was very late for you and not optimal. The communication didn't go too well there, but thank you for playing, giving it your best. If you do have to play again, I'm sure we'll try to work it out on a more EU-friendly time. And also, if you want to play TheNydus EU, be sure to check out Miguel, as he's going to be hosting those. Oops. Last surprise MMR is about 4,900. So as a few MMR down from World, but they're relatively close. So I think it's going to be a strong game.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this ace match, dude. I'm hoping that we can pull out the win, but I'm also hoping that World is Doom, if anything, can show me how to play Zerg because I suck.
Yep. All right, last surprise is ready to gear it up. He is fresh. I am excited to see his debut in TheNydus.
No match history. Ugh.
That's funny.
The only one. We have to submit replays, right? Or no?
No, actually.
Oh, great. Okay.
I have to keep leaving the arcade chat. It keeps automatically joining me. It's really annoying.
There is a
Oh, sorry, Ballad. Yes, this is deciding match. I know, Stucco.
There is a setting in the options to make it so you never join public channels again.
I don't know why anyone would ever want to be an arcade channel. All right.
Okay, world's ready. Go, go, go. Good luck, have fun.
Okay, here we are, everyone, in the ace match of AIlin versus Alpha X. It has been a fun evening of competitive games. A lot of times, this format does go that way. You know, sometimes Diamond player can start off hot, but then the Masters players are a bit more even. You can get some longer macro games. And it is a significant barrier oftentimes for the Diamond players to beat the Masters players just because it can be such a big jump in skill. So a lot of times we have closer all-in matches. It's not often that we have a lot of huge landslide victories. But that said, going to introduce our players here. In the top corner, the ace player for All Inspiration, it is World is Doom.
A little friendly banter to start. Seems as if these players have had a history of playing with each other.
For sure. Thank you for the follow. We appreciate it. It's always good to have cross-pollination from all-in members. Sorry, I keep adjusting my mic, everyone. I'm not sure if it's actually affecting the voice quality, but keep moving it. Okay.
So World is Doom, or not World, Last Surprise, sorry. Last Surprise opened barracks before gas, so that there's not a tremendous amount that we could read in from that, but my immediate gut feeling is that it's going to be a 2-on-1 style of build. That's just because that's the only build I know that starts barracks before gas.
Right. Yeah, very well could be. This is an interesting map. It definitely feels like a old Wings of Liberty type map with the art style. Mm-hmm. The gold bases in the Xel'Nagas. But I think it's a fairly standard map. Branching out to the fourth can be difficult. That means there's a good bit of space, but it's a fairly big map.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of these maps, there are a couple outliers, but well, sometimes there are some abusive strategies for some of the players, but I think a lot of the maps will play out similarly. Some players will just play their strategies without any special attention to the map. We may see that change, but I think for now, especially before players are super familiar, we're just going to see pretty standard strategies. It's not going to be super map dependent.
Yeah. We see World is Doom fighting for third base location right now. He's going to get it. Last Surprise doing his best to keep the drone away, but only gets a link for his troubles.
Yeah, base going down, 246, not too bad for World.
Mm-hmm. And Last Surprise is going to switch onto a factory, or switch the reactor onto the factory and start with Hellion production. So it's not a 2-on-1 build. Excellent.
Did he build 2 Reapers? Okay, no, just fully regenerated health. Reaper's still alive, poking around. Got some nice utility. He didn't scout into the main though, did he?
Add-on complete.
No, he did not. He saw in the main with the SCV, I believe, that World is Doom mined a little extra gas. However, as of this moment, World has not spent any of that gas that he's mined. So he may have just simply spaced on pulling guys out. Maybe it was intentional. Maybe he likes to have the extra gas so that if he needs anything, he can get it right away, depending on the scout. But yeah, it seems like both players just transitioning into the next stages.
Yeah, last pushed away the one Overlord in the main with a Marine, and then is building a Viking to go Overlord hunting, so very strong. Now he knows where the other Overlord is. He can get potentially 2 kills with this Viking, so very much
Yeah.
worth it. Got a lair coming and a Baneling nest right now for the tech of choice of world.
Fusion Core is finishing for last surprise, and that's that's unsurprising. He has gone up to just the really healthy number of 8 Hellions, but it's going to be BC first. BC out of the starport right away. No third. Well, third base has just started, but yeah, I don't know what he's waiting on with these 8 Hellions. Maybe maybe there's a timing that he likes to hit with it. Oh, he's just started the armory. Maybe he was thinking about doing a Hellbat push, but
Thank you, Inevitable, for the host. Appreciate that. Yeah, so these Hellions are moving out, and that's quite a number of them, especially if they go into the third. There are some Lings out, but I think there's definitely some room for these Hellions to get damage done.
yeah.
Or will he wait for the BC maybe to catch him off guard?
I'd be really interested to see if he just teleports to BC directly on top of these Hellions to move out altogether.
There
Kind of
is a
curious.
Spore in the main and the natural, so there is some static defense there.
Yeah. Holy cow. That Overseer's fast. I don't know why that's surprising. Like, I play Zerg, but like,
The Hellbat's going into the third, not getting a lot done there, but there is a BC in the main. Targeted down a Queen, and now it's going to target down the Spore. So the Hellbat's getting cleaned up pretty unceremoniously. And the BC targeting the lair. Don't like that too much.
no. He's trying not to take damage with it. He got a drone, 2 drones, and a queen, I think, but certainly not what you were kind of hoping for. Opening the BC build and throwing the Hellions into the third base. Like, I don't think the Hellions got anything at all.
Yeah, they were kind of weirdly split up, and there's a lot of Queens there. So not the best utility. I think actually you should have kept them Hellions and tried to run them into the natural, get some drone kills, then go in with the BC. But and the lack of targeting with the BC as well hurt him. He's continuing to produce battle cruisers though, as well as Hellions and tanks.
I like the choice of tanks. I feel like that was something that Kuko didn't have a whole lot of siege tanks.
Last warped out the battle cruiser in the main at the last second there. Got another queen, some lost mining time, so some little damage here and there that the BCs managed to get, as well as get that spore crawler down, very low in health. But not astronomical damage, but keeping the battle cruiser alive, keeping the utility of it alive, hitting a roll over here in the middle of the map is some nice damage.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe he stopped production. Oh no, it's just supply blocks. So he's continuing to produce BCs. That's where maybe I would have liked to see him just stop after 2.
Yeah, he's just now starting Yamato Cannon as well. He's throwing on more factories. Yeah, I would love to see maybe a Liberator range switch and, put a factory on that tech lab and start producing Liberators, because I feel like those are going to mean more. Those could have a bigger influence on a fight than I think an additional BC would do.
For sure. Last surprise, Army economy is doing really well. He's up to 74 workers, got the 4th almost finished. If he floats it down right away, he's going to get his 4th up at a pretty good time. 4th is just established now for Worlds. So income, I like Last's position a bit more than I liked Cuckoo's, for instance. And his army supply is quite strong as well. So I think there's going to be a moment where Last Surprise is going to be able to attack World, unlike Cuckoo, where he pretty much just allowed World to max because of the circumstances of the earlier game. I think Last is in a decent position.
Yeah, another really big thing to note this game is that World did not get his Hydra upgrades until just now. Like he only has Hydra range, he doesn't have Hydra speed, and +1 range and +1 carapace are only halfway done for Zerg. Whereas Terran's working on +2 ship armor. He's working on +2 vehicle armor altogether. So those BCs are going to take all of these units are going to take a lot less damage from the Hydras than we saw last game. And that's
Yeah.
going to be really tough for World to deal with.
And there's a lot more tanks. He's not really messing with Cyclones right now. Just going to be Hellbat tank, a little bit simpler of a unit comp, and BCs here. So there's, I think, 3 BCs and a lot of tanks and Hellbats.
Yeah. Tanks are sieged up. And the really important thing is that he doesn't lose all these Hellions, because what's allowing him to do this right now is he's using Hellions to push the creep and the forces of Zerg back while his tanks siege up. So he's morphed into Hellbats to buy a little more time, but ooh, BCs need to not be caught. So
Yeah, this is certainly a fragile position for last.
yeah, and he's on creep. He's not waiting for the creep to disappear at all, and that's gonna hurt him. He needs to scan to clear out those tumors, because Zerg has full vision of his push right now, and the Hellbats eat a whole bunch of Banelings. There's no more Hellbats, just tanks and BCs. I'm really afraid for last on this push.
Yeah, we've got a lot of Hellions, or a little bit of Hellions, coming out here to reinforce. That will help, but it does look like World is gearing up for a counterattack. And
Yeah.
he's traded okay. We haven't really seen a huge engagement yet, but we might right now. We're waiting for it. Okay, there are some Hellbats here, and the tanks are in a pretty good position. So looks like last is gonna hang on.
Yeah. Hang on so far, but Vipers have just finished. The tanks are spread enough that Blinding Cloud's not gonna ruin the life of Terran, but certainly getting pulled into the army, getting tanks pulled in the army, getting BCs pulled, that's gonna be really tough to deal with. There's an expiration date on this push, though. I'm really afraid that he's nearing.
Yeah, and also another thing that I'd like to point out is that this push is not really threatening anything for World. It's just on creep, and it's not even threatening a fourth of World, and not even particularly denying a fifth. So this isn't doing any economic damage to fifth. His economy remains intact. Here are the Vipers coming in, getting some abducts, getting some blinding clouds, and you were right. This push has expired. The BC's warping out, thankfully. I think one of them got knurled.
One of them did get knurled, and the knurl, while knurled, he teleported him, so BC's gonna have to fly away.
And the BCs will become valuable later game for Yamatos on Vipers and Infestors.
Yeah.
So that's something that if you can keep those like 3 BCs alive, it will be strong, getting Yamatos down.
Yeah.
It looks like the army of Doom is pushing towards the fourth, but last surprise is maxed. The saving grace for him right now is that he was continuing to macro during that fight. He's got a lot of Cyclones here, a lot of BCs.
Mm-hmm. The Cyclones are going to be... The Cyclone Hellion's going to be a little better army to deal with this composition of Zerg. But, yeah, he's going to be able to push Zerg back until Zerg hits creep. And then he has to be careful again.
Now, the thing that does give me hope for last surprise is that he is on his expanding to his 5th and his 6th base right now. Well, Zerg's 5th is only halfway done. So economically, last is doing a great job. He might need to add some factories in, but other than that, he's doing a really good job.
I think he needs to sack some workers, to be honest. He's up to 98 workers. That is a tremendous amount.
Yeah, plus mules, that's really more than you need.
Yeah. His army size loses a BC that had teleport, but Yeah, his army size is smaller than it needs to be right now. He's up to 102 workers. And he's still making workers.
At least
Yes.
he's gonna catch a full mana infestor out. That's nice. And
That's
gonna go into the fifth here to put some hamper on that fifth base. Cause the third army to retreat. Ooh, gets the abducts off though. Is he gonna? Yeah, he teleports those away. Nice job.
excellent.
Ooh, actually got abducted though. Yeah, I'm gonna lose two of those.
The +3 armor on his vehicles is really good, but Zerg is about to get +3/+3 himself, and then Terran's going to be behind again in upgrades. He has Ghost. Ghost is going to be critical in EMPing. Oh, and he EMPs almost every Viper.
Ooh, a lot of snipes going down as well.
Yeah. The Cyclone's going to get that Viper, yes. So all the Vipers are out of energy. There's not much of an army left for last, but it's siege tanks positioned well enough that there's not going to be a hope for World to follow up.
World's got his fifth base up, but no real drones there. So economically, Last is in a better position right now, and his army's stronger as well, I think.
Yeah, getting those extra bases has helped him out a tremendous amount. Because before he was floating near zero gas while having a ton of minerals. Now he's able to float a little bit of both. He's getting the bank, maxing out. He is maxed out, and yeah.
Getting all his ghost upgrades as well. But I think you're right. We're up to 105 workers. I think with mules, he should sack maybe 20 workers, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly. And you don't even have to throw them away for free either. Like I see a lot of people do. Just like do like I don't know what a lot of GSL Terrans do and pull the boys for one push.
Right. Yeah, that would be strong. Last surprise is getting a ton of ghost in his army.
Yeah, those are going to be critical in sniping the Vipers, Infestors, Broodlords if there are any that ever show up.
Hydros getting into the third, and this fight went pretty well for Last Surprise.
Yeah, the EMP hit all of the Vipers, and now he has to pull back. He's able to kill a few workers, but that's just fine for Last.
By the way, thank you to Xenodactyl for sharing the bits. Appreciate it. It's funny, he's actually remaking workers.
No, stop it. You don't need to.
He could honestly, one thing I'd like to see him just throw down a bunch of like CCs at this I don't even know what base it is at this point. At the 3 o'clock position, throw down a couple CCs to get planetaries.
Yeah, just start making the pathing terrible for Zerg units.
And this is going to be a super long game, I feel like.
Yeah. You see a Corruptor coming out for Zerg, but no Greater Spire. He's starting his melee upgrades as Zerglings are going to start playing a bigger and bigger role with run-bys. He's continuing to produce Infestors. Only sees 2 at the moment, but
we have a big battlecruiser switch coming in for Last. We've got 4 battlecruisers in the production tab. So that's going to be a pretty impressive fleet of battlecruisers. He might try to go for like a big warpin at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about that.
If he continues on his upgrades, he needs to get ship weapons. He's maxed on mech ground now, and his air has +3 armor, but if you're going to max on battle cruisers, you need to get attack upgrades, because Like just the way that they fire like 6 cannons, so like really low damage at a huge weapon speed. He needs attack upgrades, otherwise he's not going to be doing anything. Like, I honestly don't think if World is Doomed had few more corruptors, I'd be really worried for all of these battle cruisers. But he's just baneling Hydra right now.
A lot of Banelings rolling in here. And the Ghost, a lot of Ghosts going down there. That was huge. The MP's not really landing on the Vipers too as well. But it looks like there's going to be enough BCs to clean this up here. And
yeah, eight tank lives, BCs live. That was a good fight for Terran.
Keep in mind, there's no bank for World as well. And
right.
There's a massive mineral bank for last. He's a little bit low on gas, but still, the amount of mineral bank he has right now is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And a nuke went down.
Yeah.
Almost like a mana nuke. That nothing.
Right. Just trying to force the positioning for World to stay back. He's like, let me clean this base. Well, uh-oh. That was a cute maneuver. He knurled a BC and then warped it on top of the other BCs, but yeah. I think he should go home, honestly. Like, he's producing battle cruisers 4 at a time. That's great. He's got 5 alive right now. So 9 battle cruisers is scary. 5 injured battle cruisers with 4 not in the fight rallying on the way, not scary.
Well, one of the things that's big right now is that World is actually really struggling to get max. Hellbat's going into one of the bases of World, forcing some lost mining as well. So World's supply is actually just continues to decrease. I think with the amount of BCs he has right now, he can just push in.
I think you're right. The army difference is really big. I'm ever the passive player, and I always worry about overextending.
The Zerg, I think that last push, it's kind of funny because I don't know if I really realized it, but in a lot of ways, that was kind of like the last spot for Zerg, because that was the last time Zerg had a big maxed army. And then its economy is just going downhill from there.
Yeah.
So I think that he needed to wipe that army and expand aggressively. Or, I mean, honestly, where is there left to expand? He needed to have a big win in that fight and keep his expansions. Because otherwise, I mean, the army supply is just such in favor of Terran right now.
Yeah. I want Last Surprise to be scanning more often. I guess he's only got 3 orbitals, which feels like it's a low number, but he keeps letting these burrowed infestors find damage when they don't need to be. Ooh, that is a lot of neural parasite. Oh, but the nuke is gonna land. Is he gonna? Alright, he doesn't get any army with it. Doesn't lose any of his own, but yeah, he is losing massive amount of battle cruisers to fight this army. The Neural's ever present.
What's the cost of a nuke again in SE2?
It is 100 minerals and 100 gas.
Oh, that's it?
That is it.
Hellbat's forcing some mining delay as well at the I keep saying natural, I don't know what base this is, 6, 7, at the 9 o'clock base of World. World's really falling apart here. If you look, he's depleted. He's mining basically nothing, and Last Surprise is maxed. Just continuing to throw out nukes.
Yeah, World is down to 54 workers. Makes it fighting always hard because you know that each time you fight, you're gonna have less units in the fight you're about to take. So I don't know how much I like the Hydras though. He's never transitioned to Broodlords. Actually, 3 Broodlords on the way right now, but that seems to me too little too late.
Yeah, well, he banked into the Infestor Viper tech.
Yeah.
That just really was combated well by the Ghosts.
Yeah, it really was. Broodlords are the solution to the ghost. So we'll see if Last Surprise handles it as well as I hope he does. He's using a squad of ghosts to clean up creep right now. That worries me a little bit.
Yeah, his bank is just getting so big now. He's at 10,000 minerals, which is absolutely insane. He's got a lot of battle cruisers. He's up to about 12 battle cruisers right now. He could warp
Yeah,
into the main or something like that and do a ton of damage.
yeah. He's got 4 nukes ready to go right now too. That is a lot.
All right, here we go. Battle cruisers going into the natural area. Started to take down bases. We've got a lot of nukes banked, a lot of ghosts here. Battle cruisers just raining death. Few broodlords here, a lot of infestors. We've got a nuke going down on this plateau. Will it go down? Actually, knurling the ghost. And
Oh,
how did
that
that
was
miss?
cool.
It like missed
I
most
don't.
of the ghost though.
It missed a lot of the ghosts, but there are some that still have full energy, but it took a ton of energy off of a bunch of the others. I think it only does. Yeah, it only takes away 100 energy. So brought a lot of those ghosts down.
No, I'm sorry guys. This looks like the stream quality is going really downhill. Man, stream was fine until now. I don't know what I can do. It's just an internet issue right now. The stream looks like it's freezing badly, but hopefully the game is almost over. Oh man, this is bad.
Oh no.